Welcome in, guys. This is Josh Neal here with The Sports Force. You can follow me on Twitter at RotoRacer. Be sure to check out the Wedge Adjustment NASCAR DFS show that we recorded earlier on last night, and we posted it up on the YouTube as well. Be sure to check that out. That's got some awesome plays there for you guys. Today, I'm just going to be doing a GPP lineup building video. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on some things, give you some drivers that you should be considering, and some things you should also be considering in terms of fades. So to start out with, I think everybody that's watching this video already knows you need to plug Kyle Larson in. That's a 100% deal. Cash, GPP, whatever. You can fade him in GPP, but be ready to drink and drink and drink. That's all I can say for that. Not going to spend too much time on him. Let's move on to the next guy that we're going to talk about here, and that's Kyle Busch. A lot of people are going to go after this guy right here, Kevin Harvick. For me, I like Kyle Busch. He's $500 cheaper, and I also believe he's going to jump Kevin Harvick on the initial start, and he's going to dominate the first segment until some cautions happen. I'm not a big fan of Harvick, like a lot of people are. I can see why. All the stats, all the things are adding up as they should to pick Harvick. Don't fade him. I'm going to have him in my fair share of lineups, but I'm obviously not going to go heavyweight on him. I think Kyle Busch is the guy you're going to have to watch out for. So plug him in this lineup. And the next guy I'm about to show you, he's really intriguing, and normally on any other week I would not be considering this guy. But starting 40th, Corey LaJoie at 4,800. Watch this right here. Whenever I pick him, watch this go up. Bang. Did you see that? That was almost $1,000 change. So essentially what that's going to enable us to do here, if we go up here to the top tier, we're going to be able to pick one of these guys up in this section. Well, for me, you should say, well, he's going to pick Truex or Harvick. Yes, I know I was all over Truex last week, and for good reason. But this week, I'm going to go with Jimmie Johnson. He starts 14th. And for me, when you can start 14th and you have a really solid car and you have strong track history, and I think he's going to lead laps, and I also think he's going to win the race. If you watch the wedge adjustment, you know I did pick him to win the race. So for me, when you got a guy like Jimmie Johnson starting 14th, if he can lead laps, finish in the top 2-3, you'd be crazy not to. Now, this goes back to Kevin Harvick. Yes, I might be crazy for not putting him in this lineup, and you think, well, I'm just going to turn this video off right now. Just hear me out here. We've seen so many times where we've seen Kyle Busch earlier in the year, we've seen multiple guys that we say, this guy's going to dominate the race, and nobody else is going to have him. This race has 4 segments, and if you watched the Xfinity race yesterday, these restarts breed cautions. Cautions breed cautions. It goes on and on and on. So for me, I'm going to put so much stock into that. I don't think Kevin Harvick's going to lead that many laps. If anything, I think he's going to come in the top 5, but at this price and him starting first, you need him to dominate most of the race. For me, you don't have to have him dominate most of the race. You want him to lead anywhere from 50 to 100 laps. But for me, I don't think that's going to happen. Give me Jimmie Johnson. Give me Kyle Busch in this situation. So that leaves us with 75-50. There's a couple guys I want to talk about here. You're going to move down here. I mean, you got some guys right in this range. You got a Matt Kenseth. You got a Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's not gave me anything that I should be talking about here. But for me, there's some people on Chase Elliott. I really like Chase Elliott this week. He's one of my sneaky GPP plays, starting 3rd. His car is really good in practice. So if you're building 5 lineups, put him in 1 or 2. I'm not going to put him in this lineup just because of the salary concerns here. I'll probably put him in a more balanced lineup without Corey LaJoie and probably 2 dominators. I think I might go down to 2 and another one. But for this lineup, we're going to keep these guys in here. And we're going to move down here. Matt Kenseth, another guy that I really like. He's about the same thing. 8,700, really strong car. Him and Kyle Busch are really fast Toyotas. So don't fully fade Kenseth. I think he has a chance to lead some laps and get back on track. Well, Jamie McMurray, he's put some solid practice times. I'm not a big fan of him. He starts, where does he start? He starts 11th. So I can see why you'd want him. He makes for a good GPP play, but for this reason, I'm not really on him as much as the others. So I'm not going to put him in my lineup either. That brings me down to this section right here, and these two guys are the guys that I'll be splitting in my GPP lineups. Casey Kane, if we just take a look at his game log, or his race log, there's nothing to go home about. That Geico 500 is Talladega, and as you guys know, Talladega is a monster. So if you can survive it, you're going to have a good finish. But just look at this. Look at those finishes. And you move back, he's had one top 10 the whole year. It's insane, I think. I think that actually goes... Okay, never mind. He's had one top 10 in this log here. He's not had the best luck here of lately either. So, but for me, this guy's won here 4 times. Just, the fact that Dale Jr.'s had so much bad luck. But here's the thing about Jr. is, him and Jimmy Johnson are sharing notes a lot this week. More than usual, they said. So for me, if Dale Jr. can drive a Jimmy Johnson set up the race car, then he could be really sneaky. And at 7,900, Dale Jr. is normally in the 8,000s. So you're getting him at a premium discount here. But the guy struggled. Let's just look at his game log, or race log. Casey Kane's might even be better than this. Look at this crap. I mean, it's something you want to cover your eyes and not look at. So for that reason, we're going to put Casey Kane here in at 8,000. So what's that do? That shoots us down to 7,100. Now there's a couple of guys that you can pick here. But for me, when I see this, my first thoughts are, oh man, Ryan Newman at 7,300. This guy starting 17th has a rocket. This is a guy you're probably going to want to sneak in some lineups this week. He doesn't fit in this one, but I highly encourage you to be able to fit Ryan Newman or Daniel Suarez in your lineups somehow, some way. Those two guys are really sneaky this week. Ryan Newman, again, there's so many people that have bad luck, but just look at this. He's had some good solid finishes, and he was on his way last week to helping me and PJ do great in some GPPs until he blew up. So, just a bad luck scenario. For me, though, for this GPP lineup, I'm going to be considering Ty Dillon and AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger, he's another one of these guys. Look at his race log. Horrible. This is horrid. Just nothing that you would want to roster and have any confidence in. But for that reason, he starts 26th. This guy has a good car this week. This guy has a top 15 driver rating out of the active drivers. So, at 6,700, and a guy that's not really produced, you're going to get him at low ownership. And then you got a guy like Ty Dillon, which he has been able to put some solid finishes together. For him, that car has not been running well in the past couple years until he got in it, which I think RCR did up the alliance with Germain Racing. But for me, I go back and forth. I think Ty Dillon's probably going to be a little bit heavy. I wouldn't say heavy, but I would say he's going to be a little bit more owned than Allmendinger, just because you got guys like Roto Grinders and them guys that really love Ty Dillon. So for me, I like Allmendinger in this spot. I'm going to have my fair share of Ty Dillon as well, but this right here, if you put this lineup in, I'm not saying you should put this in $100 worth of lineups, but this lineup right here makes for a very solid GPP option. And I wouldn't say, this is my most confident lineup, because it isn't. Honestly, there's a couple things I would do right off the bat. I'm not going to give those away. But this lineup right here could win you some money, just for the fact that you don't have Kevin Harvick or Truex. It's really risky. You got to be really confident, and I'm really confident in these two guys right here, and along with Larson. But let's go in here and let's clear it. And we're going to do another lineup here. We're going to do this one lineup here, and I will let you guys go. But let's just say, you want Kevin Harvick in your lineup. All right, that's cool. For what you're essentially saying is you don't know what you're going to do with Kyle Busch just yet. Let's not put Kyle Busch in this one. Let's just go with what the rest of the industry is going to do here. All right, so you put Kevin Harvick in your lineup. What's next? You're going to go Mark Truex, correct? Yeah, you got right there that bumps you down to 7,250. Well, you got to have Larson in your lineup too, right? He starts 39th. You're right there, you're at 6,300, and you're saying, well, man, I wish I could just do something different. Well, if you go down here and you plug Corey LaJoie back in, you're going to be up to 7,050. All right, that's got some respectable names there. Like I said, you might want Ryan Newman. Plug him in. But that leaves you at 6,800, and you're right back here with Allmendinger. I don't want too much of an Allmendinger myself. So, what I'm going to do... do I want Harvick or Truex? I don't know. Them two guys, I'm debating still. But for me, I don't want Allmendinger again. I would rather have Ty Dillon or move up to Daniel Suarez. So, but if you... Somehow you got to keep LaJoie in there if you want all three of them. Let's just say for the fact, let's remove Truex. All right. Let's move back here to the top of the list. That's going to give you some options here. Do you want to go Keselowski? No, don't go Keselowski this week. Jimmy Johnson. Kyle Busch. He's a guy that's going to lead laps, I'm telling you. Just watch. Got Chase Elliott. This is an option that I'm going to consider. So let's just say that I'm feeling really confident, or I'm going to go with a guy like Joey Logano that is going so overlooked because he is struggling in practice. And this goes back to me saying, practice, practice, practice. These guys will kill you when you look at practice. These crew chiefs are magicians. They're amazing. And Joey Logano is a premier driver in this sport. I'm not going to put him in here just for the fact that I would love another Dominator. So, I do believe Chase Elliott's going to get up there at some point. So, let's plug him in. And boom, that leaves you with 8,200. And that's going to give you some really interesting options here. That's going to leave you with Casey Kane, Kurt Busch, Jr., Jones, Dillon, Stenhouse, Suarez. For me, I think you guys know where I want. I either want Earnhardt or Kane. Now, granted, Kurt Busch is a very solid option. He starts 12th, and he's probably going to be around 15-20% owned in GPPs. Here's where I'm probably going to differentiate myself. I'm going to go... There's a lot of people talking about Eric Jones. He starts 5th. This guy's had so much bad luck, and I almost just picked him. But for the simple fact that he's just not had anything going right for him, I'm going to leave him alone because he's a rookie, and 600 miles is a lot of laps. And that goes back to my Ty Dillon story and my Daniel Suarez. I'm not going to be heavily owning those guys, just for the fact they're rookies. So for me, I'm going to go Dale Jr. here just because I picked Casey Kane in the last lineup. I'd like to differentiate myself. But that right there, again, is another solid lineup that could offer you big benefits. Now, if you don't want Chase Elliott, you don't want Corey LaJoie again, which, let's just take Corey LaJoie out of a lineup. That right there is going to leave you 5,100. You got Landon Castle. A lot of guys like Landon Castle this week. For me, he starts 31st, and I don't have too much confidence in this guy. 21, 29, 21. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I like a guy that starts 40th and could work his way up a little bit more than him. So, I like LaJoie better than any of these guys down here. but I can definitely see why people are on Castle. So let's just maneuver this a little bit. All right, let's take Chase Elliott back out, and let's take Junior out. So that leaves 3 guys that respectable salaries. I want me some Kyle Busch. All right, that leaves you 6,250. You move down here, and right away you run into some major problems. With Ryan Newman in there, you've got to be able to pick some of these guys. You know, in the ideal scenario, I'd love to go Allmendinger, Dillon, but I can't do that. You got a guy like Chris Buescher here. Let's plug him in here and see what you can do. Yeah, see, that's not going to... You really don't want that. You really wouldn't want to go Chris Buescher and then leave all this salary on the table, and you got guys like this. A guy like Regan Smith here, haven't touched base on him. He starts 25th. Yeah, I'm going to pass on him. So, with that being said, I'm going to take Ron Newman, and I'm going to take that out. And for this reason, got those 3 guys. If you have to have Harvick, this is probably the core you'd want. You might want to put Truex instead of Busch, but that's just personal preference. So what I'm going to do here is, there's your 3 dominators. So what do you want to do now? Well, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to plug Dillon in. I'm going to plug Allmendinger in. What's that leave you? That leaves you 6,200, and you're sitting here at the same exact story. Don't do that. So what I'm trying to get at is, when you put Corey LaJoie in all of your lineups, you're able to do so many things. Let's just put Ty Dillon. Let's put Allmendinger in. Or not Danica Patrick. We don't want her. Put Ty Dillon in this time. That leaves you 8,100. There you go again with Earnhardt and Kane. So, you might want to go Eric Jones. Just to be different than everybody. And Eric Jones is very intriguing because nobody's going to be on him. He's wrecked. He's did so many things. My Lord, he's going to be so under-owned. So with that being said, I'm not going to finish this lineup out, but that will do it for the GPP building video. And if you guys like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Almost to 100. I would love to get to 100 here in the next couple weeks. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and good luck this weekend.